Welcome to part 2 of the fan edition worst Spongebob episodes. And, well, you know the usual. If you haven't seen part 1, watch it. If you have, great. If you don't care about what 20 through 11 is, at least watch the beginning of it, okay? Okay. And, like I said, this is the final edition. And, well, last 10 episodes to give a beating. Let's do this. This episode is so fucking creepy. Like, you know what? I'll just explain. So, how does this episode start off? Well, the pacing for this is about as bad as an episode of Fanboy and Chum Chum because Patrick's just walking around Bikini Bomb and then some douchebag says, "Hey you, get out of town," and Patrick runs away. But it's really, get out of town to some place elsewhere. Oh, so original. That ain't never been done before. Ugh. And Patrick runs to SpongeBob saying that there's this guy with a briefcase and a suit, and he wants to run me out of town. And he tries... And Patrick attempts to try to leave by also taking SpongeBob's peanut butter, pickles, and clothes. Ugh, Jesus Christ, it's so stupid. But SpongeBob's like, you know what, let's just put a disguise on you. And, well, there's a few disguises and they all fail. People can see through it. And really, who wouldn't? Until he thinks of turning Patrick into a girl named Patricia. Now this is where the episode becomes very creepy, because when they go to the Krusty Krab, Squidward and Mr. Krabs start hitting on Patricia, and it's just creepy. I mean, ugh. And how they're attracted to it, it's like, really? Really? Fat pink lady starfish are your thing? Ugh. I know there's different tastes, but come on. Well, then again, Mr. Krabs did date Mrs. Puff, so he is a bit of a chubby chaser. Squidward, go find Squillia. She's better for you. So yeah, they keep trying. So yeah, Mr. Krabs and Squidward keep trying to hit on Patrick and trying to ask them out, and then suddenly the guy that told Patrick to get out of town recognizes Patrick. Oh yeah, by the way, because of how hot Patricia is, Patrick gave him a job. Yeah. The guy in the suit says, "Don't you look familiar? Oh yeah, get out of town." And SpongeBob's like, "You're not gonna run Patrick out of town." And, well, Squidward and Mr. Krabs' jaws basically hit the ground so hard, they uppercutted a Chinaman. Yeah. So, it turns out all along that he wasn't trying to run Patrick out of town, and just trying to get him to go someplace. You know, that part probably should have just been reserved for the end, because otherwise a surprising twist. It'd be a retarded twist, but something. And then Patrick gets rid of the lady clothes and is naked, and, well, Squidward and Mr. Krabs aren't gonna sleep well for the next year or so because of that. Just, keep your kids away from this episode, honest to God. Really, how did this get past the censors? Ugh. This episode is just annoying. So what happens? Well, Squidward has finished some of his music. He's written it down and, got it ready. And then suddenly there's this big pound, and he drops it, and it's lit on fire from a candle. And, well, it's all destroyed. Apparently Patrick is hammering in this sign for rent. at first Squidward thinks that Patrick is moving away, but no, sadly not. He's just having his yard up for rent. Probably, well, because he says he needs the extra cash. I mean, yeah, he's already on welfare. I think he needs some extra cash. Do they? I don't know. But anyway, Squidward's disappointed, and SpongeBob and Patrick go do something else, and they tell Squidward to watch the yard in case of any takers. Squidward's like, fine. And then suddenly this guy named Howard, who has a car and a trailer, comes up, and let me say, Howard is a sane reverse color of Carl from Selling Out. Honest to God, the character designs look exactly the same, just instead of a green fish with a purple shirt, it's a purple fish with a green shirt. Hell, they even kept the glasses, the square glasses. Seriously, you couldn't think of another design? I mean, this is SpongeBob, where all the fish look unique from each other, despite them all being fish. But, with that out of the way, Squidward hears, well, Howard tells Squidward that he likes culture, he plays the oboe, and just loves art. Basically the stuff that Squidward likes. And he's like, hooray, but, you know. And when he goes in to talk to Howard, he says that he doesn't like noisy neighbors or annoying neighbors. You know, like SpongeBob and Patrick. And that's the reason he moved out of his old place. And, well, when SpongeBob and Patrick come back, Squidward keeps, you know, trying to keep them away, and even puts up different borders like fences, brick walls, and whatnot. So Howard doesn't know that, well, SpongeBob and Patrick are annoying. And this takes up a chunk of the episode. And, you know, Squidward tries to do a duet with Howard, and again, SpongeBob and Patrick keep coming back. And again, building around until, well, eventually, Howard, you know, hears SpongeBob and Patrick and goes outside, and, oh yeah, he also hates bubbles. And he pops a bubble and, you know, becomes SpongeBob and Patrick, and sort of like, you know what, fuck it, I don't want to deal with 3 annoying assholes living next to me. So, he takes the brick that was holding Howard's trailer and car in place and lets it roll off a cliff, which seems to have popped out of nowhere. And then Howard goes diving in for it, and then, well, Squidward jumps off at the end, and just, yeah. This episode, just annoying. Squidward building at was annoying, SpongeBob and Patrick were annoying, and Howard is so bland that, well, he's incredibly forgettable. I had to look up his name. That's how forgettable. This is incredibly stupid, and also, haven't we already had our, you know, sleeping episodes? I mean, we got those out of the way in Season 1, for crying out loud. So, anyway, what happens? Well, SpongeBob is, of course, working at the Krusty Krab, as usual, and, well, he puts mustard on someone's Krabby Patty, and Mr. Krabs bitches that, well, he poured a little too much mustard and predicted that he would because of that, he would go broke in 411 years. Yawn! And he's like, did you go to sleep late? And SpongeBob says he went to bed 2 minutes late, and Mr. Krabs declares him an insomniac. It's a little extreme, don't you think? But no. Money. Jizzing himself because of money. Because that's all we want when we're at Nickelodeon and Mr. Krabs. Money. Fuck me. So, well, when SpongeBob tries to go to bed, there comes crappy bed cliches. He says that the pillow is hard as a rock. And, well, basically, this first part copies, like, when SpongeBob couldn't get to sleep in New Digs. I mean, even down to the milk thing, except it makes him get bigger, and then the milk squirts out of his holes somehow. Seriously, that makes no sense. We've established that SpongeBob can drink liquids and eat stuff without stuff coming out of his holes. Hell, they don't even contend with anything, so yeah, crappy joke. And then he keeps worrying about every second. Oh no, 5 hours. 5 minutes, 4 hours, 59 minutes, 59 seconds, blah, 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 blah. And then he declares himself an Insomniac, which really, what is this episode's deal with the word Insomniac? I mean, first we have not normal, not knowing what the word normal means, and now this. What's going on? And then, well, he runs over to Patrick to try and get some help. And by the way, animation error. When he goes to Patrick's house, you don't see Squidward's house anywhere. Wow. That's just sad. And then, well, when he wakes up Patrick at first thinks SpongeBob is a sponge cake. Then he wakes him up, and Pat decides to read SpongeBob a book, which is extreme instead. And he says it's a get out of a bed book, and then does a crappy active song, and just fails all around. Then he shows his grandmother's severe toe barnacles, gross. And, well, he said that she drank something that made it all go away, coffee, and SpongeBob freaks out, and then gets that hyper coffee cliche and starts running around. Then he starts to hallucinate. A bush starts talking to him, then a billboard, and then there's this giant Mr. Krabs that's like leaking mustard out of his eyes. Did we just suddenly... Am I watching Seahorse Seashell Party, or am I watching SpongeBob? Sheesh. I mean, this is just fucking creepy. And then there's barrels of mustard that, overflow, and then SpongeBob wakes up in like this lake, and there's barrels, and out pops out laughing and taunting Squidwards. You know what? I think we have dived into Seahorse Seashell Party. And then a Flying Gary takes him up, and then a Monster Patrick eats him. And then there's a light at the end of the tunnel with a sleep genie that isn't the Sandman, and SpongeBob wakes up, and, well, he was in Gary's litter box. Ew. Then he goes to work, he's covered in sand and is a mess, and he actually is tired. And then there's those tired cliches. He washes himself with mustard. And then Mr. Krabs said, "You're wasting more of me mustard." And SpongeBob cries, and perfect mustard. And that's it. Stop making Mr. Krabs into this. This is such a shitty concept. Just shit. And really broken 411 years. Oh, ha 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 ha. Is this SpongeBob or something on Disney Channel? Honest to God! This episode is one of those annoying-ass Patrick idiocy episode. Patrick's a prick episode. Whatever you want to call it. I've heard multiple terms thrown there. So what happens? Well, starts the Krusty Krab where SpongeBob and Patrick are in the kitchen making animal noises that they say are their favorites. SpongeBob is making a dolphin noise and Patrick is making a song of a blue whale, which joke is heard by an actual blue whale. Ha. So, well, they tell Squidward that they read this magazine called Simpleton. They said they've done everything in it for best friends. And now it's the best friend quiz where, well, SpongeBob and Patrick quiz each other on, what their favorite things are. SpongeBob gets all of Patrick's stuff right, like Patrick's favorite color is, and yes, I did write this down because it's a lot. Patrick's favorite color is aquamarine. Wow. Wow, that's such a white answer. And this is coming from a white person. He's right-handed, and he has an innie belly button. Sure. And Patrick doesn't know shit about SpongeBob, his favorite color, which is beige. Okay, when did SpongeBob turn into not only a gay stereotype, but also a white stereotype? Seriously. And also, SpongeBob is wearing reading glasses. Stereotypical white person is still being hammered in. And yeah, at this point, the only thing else that SpongeBob can insult are Asians and black people. Because, well, they basically insulted everything else at this point. And SpongeBob is both handy, he's both lefty and righty, whatever the term is. He has an outie belly button and a disgusting close-up of it. I'm not saying outie belly buttons are disgusting, but how they depict it is. His favorite food is a Krabby Patty. He's a boy. Yeah, he even gets that wrong. Yeah, they have to make Patrick so stupid in this episode. Really, writers, you should be fired. Actually, you know, you should have even applied for this job 10 years ago. Pieces of shit. And that SpongeBob is square. God. And Squidward tells SpongeBob that, I guess Pat isn't your friend after all, if he doesn't know about that. And, well, Patrick got them ice cream, and, well, he didn't get SpongeBob's favorite ice cream, and SpongeBob goes home crying. Wah. Oh, he doesn't know anything about me. Kid, relax. It's just a few little things. I mean, if he doesn't know your name, then that's when you start to cry about that. Because if he doesn't know something as simple as that, then yeah. Although, you know, also not knowing that you're a boy, and that you're square, I mean, yeah, you won't forget. And SpongeBob says, I don't want anything to do with Patrick. So it's like those troubled relationships, pretty much, I guess you could say. And then he goes crying to Sandy, and Sandy says that they don't have to know everything and calls SpongeBob a crybaby. You know what? That right there just sums up this episode, basically. And I would stop there, but there's more. So yeah, he has, you know, those memory cliches. You know, he goes jellyfishing, but he's not with anyone. He wants to play leapfrog, but there's no one else. He wants to blow bubbles and blows a Patrick bubble. Yeesh, did the writers of A Day Without Tears write this? I don't know, and I'm too lazy to look it up because, well, that's just too much. And then, well, he finds Patrick going by. He goes to a gym, and he's with Patrick is with Larry the Lobster, and then Pat and Larry go to a magic shop. And, well, SpongeBob is really jealous and said, you're with your best friend Larry. And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? And Patrick said that he got a gift for SpongeBob, and he got SpongeBob glasses with nose and mustache, and that's it. What was the point of this setup? I mean, it goes nowhere, and SpongeBob doesn't even learn the lesson that best friends don't have to know everything. I mean, if you know everything, I mean, even the most hardcore relationships, the one person doesn't know everything about the other. I mean, let's say you're married to some chick, for all you know, she was in a porno when she was 19. Yeah, this episode falls flat on his face, and Patrick just, oh my god, so annoying, so stupid, just, ugh. Oh, Jesus. Another Mr. Krabs is very cheap, so we're gonna rub it in your face episode. So, well, Mr. Krabs, you know, paid a newspaper company called The Examiner to put a microscopic ad for the Krusty Krab in it, and it only costs, I don't know, it was extremely cheap, because this is modern day Mr. Krabs. We gotta hammer in that he is cheap all the time. And, you know, he doesn't have that heart of gold anymore. He pawned it off. for more money. At least that's the theory. So, yeah, he goes outside, and, well, apparently the Krusty Krab has newspaper dispensers outside it now, thanks to shitty, lazy animators. And, well, this guy says that, well, no one reads the Examiner. People watch the bottom, read the bottom feeder. And, well, Mr. Krabs reads it, and, well, they charge a shitload for an ad on it. And he's like, you know what, I could do this myself. Although, no, I actually charge just per paper, but, you know, whatever. So, Mr. Krabs decides to open up a newspaper business. You can see where it's going from here. Should I explain? You know what, I have to. I'm the one doing this. So, yeah, he hires Spongebob to pretty much be Peter Parker, and Peter Parker with a bit of April O'Neil. He's both the photographer and the reporter, and when SpongeBob goes out to Bikini Bomb, one of the worst jokes ever. SpongeBob's like, okay, what's newsworthy? And there's so much going around. It's like, there's nothing there. Oh, ha ha. Again, so original. That ain't been done before. And he's like, stop the press! Patrick's looking at a poll, and yeah, that's the story. Local resident watches poll, and no one buys the newspapers because of stupid shit like that. And Mr. Krabs is like, you know what? Just lie about it a little. Instead of local resident watches poll, man marries poll. And now you can see where this is going from here. Miss SpongeBob basically puts lies in the newspaper, like he sees Mrs. Puff stopped at a red light, and a cop it just so happens to be behind her. That, well, he takes a picture and says that, well, in the article, boating teacher in high-speed chase, and it ends up ruining Mrs. Puff's life by closing down her boating school. And then they ruin Plankton's life, Sandy. I mean, they're making Sandy look like a fucking idiot by making Plankton look like he feeds uses actual people for his chum. Although technically that's what it is, but you know, they take it to an extreme. And and then Larry the Lobster is a fucking wimp. And it gets to the point where Mr. Krabs is just a fucking monster. And they've done it to everyone in Bikini Bottom. And Mr. Krabs is like, give it the juiciest story, and Krabs gets what he gets. SpongeBob writes an article that says Mr. Krabs basically treated him like a slave and whatnot. Basically, this is the only story that's true, and everyone gets all their money back, and all's well that ends well. But no, Mr. Krabs still has $1 left, and he uses that printing machine that he bought for the newspapers and counterfeits money. Alright, Krabs, at this point, you should probably be executed. And then Patrick shows off the pole he married. This is like precursor to, I guess, shit like one-course meal. Krabs sees an opportunity, gets it, but gets his ass bitten at the end, but no worries, he's fine, gets off scot-free, and learns nothing. Honest to God, this is... I can't tell you how frustrating this episode is. Wow. Just wow. This episode is interesting, I guess, but not really that good. So, Big Sister Sam. Well, Patrick's sister Sam is coming over to visit him. Now, let's stop there. In Something Smells, Patrick's like, told my sister, oh wait, I don't have a sister. Yeah, I don't think Patrick has a sister, but apparently he does. And, well, he's first mopping the outside of his house up. You know what, I'm not even going to go into detail. And then he tells this sad, sappy story of when him and Sam were lonely and somewhere, and she took care of him. And then Sam comes, and she's just it's like if Patrick was an actual monster and a girl, and mix in some Solomon Grundy into that. You know what? She'd be a great companion for Solomon Grundy, pretty much. So, yeah. Yeah, there's that. And, well, she doesn't... At first, she doesn't like SpongeBob because, well, she doesn't know him. And, well, she makes Patrick a bigger rock because she doesn't like his small rock house. And, well, throws... and uses sand to make it, but throws sand on Squidward. Squidward is pissed off, and, well, it makes Sam really pissed, and then cry, and then Sam pushes Squidward's house. Well, actually, she did it before that, but there's so many similar events that you can mix them up, basically. And she uses parts of Squidward's house to decorate the new sand rock. Squidward, of course, is pissed. But Sam's like, you know what, just fuck off, and, well, beats up Squidward and, well, destroys his house. And then Squidward decides to try to bulldozer Patrick's sand rock, but Sam destroys the bulldozer and uses the bulldozer to destroy SpongeBob's house. SpongeBob now says that, well, Sam needs to control her temper, tells Patrick that, and, well, Patrick tells Sam that, and she's not... You know, she doesn't want to, and puts on her angry face and destroys the sand rock while hurting Patrick in the process. But good Sam face sees Patrick is hurt and, well, comes to his aid, although SpongeBob makes him conscious again with cookie dough, and then all's well ends well. We get a gross shot of Sam's disgusting nails, and that's it. You know, this episode, it could work, but Sam's just too violent. This is the sort of shit that would scare kids. I mean, scare them more than the Predacons from Transformers Prime or the Monster of the Week on Power Rangers. I mean, this is like... I don't know what to say. I'm surprised it got this many votes, and if it was up to me, it wouldn't be this high, but it's not... It's not appropriate, and Sam, let's be honest, Patrick doesn't have a sister, he's an only child. Why, I mean, they only shoehorned her into this because, you know, lazy-ass writing. This is a slap in the face to everyone, and that's saying a lot. So, what happens? Well, Mr. Krabs has done this study that, well, if employees know the names of customers, that, well, they're more likely to come back. I don't know if this is true, to be honest. I mean, and also employees asking people's names, kind of creepy, don't you think? And, well, also, why does the Krusty Krab... Oh, wait, no, I remember. This is modern-day SpongeBob with modern-day Mr. Krabs. How could I be so silly? And, well, Squidward thinks... And also, whoever can name the most customers gets a prize. Well, it apparently... He holds up this brochure that is for this fancy cruise, and Squidward's like, you know what? I want that. And he's at the register, so he'll find out the names of everyone, and, well, he sucks at it, but SpongeBob somehow knows all of them, and, well, Squidward keeps trying, and SpongeBob tells him a secret. SpongeBob has a book full of names of all the customers that go into the Krusty Krab, because that's not creepy at all, right? Right. And, well, Mr. Krabs wasn't counting. Oh, that's just fucking great. But if someone can name the last person's name, then they get the prize, and it's, well, some fish that's never been in any episode before, and, well, they don't know him, and Squidward tries to, you know, get his name, like, what's your name? It's like, what's it to ya? And, well, the guy keeps saying, what's it to ya to him, and well, it doesn't really seem to get anywhere until Squidward steals the guy's wallet and is running down with it, you know, and then he gets caught by a cop, and then, well, the guy's driver's license falls out, and you know what his name is? What's it to ya? I actually, no, I need a minute. No! 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 I mean, there's shoehorning shit, and then there's copping out. Yeah, what kind of ridiculous name is that? I mean, wow. I mean, this is... there are no words to describe just how fucking retarded that is. And it's not even funny. Excuse me. And, well, Squidward goes to jail, and Mr. Krabs hands him his prize, the brochure, and the prize was just the brochure. And that's another slap in the face. And, well, apparently Squidward is in the same jail cell as Patrick, and the shit ends. This is so fucking stupid, so fucking predictable. The twists make no sense, and just, like, what were they thinking? No, actually, no, I know the answer. They weren't thinking. How can I be so stupid? I had never heard of this episode until I saw the animated atrocity for it, and wow. Yeah, a lot of people say that it's pretty much a ripoff of Pal for Gary, which I do really hate. Like, the first time I saw that episode, I was so pissed that I was in a bad... It put me in a bad mood for the rest of the day. Yeah, a Pal for Gary ruined my day. Now, that may be a little extreme, but, I mean, if you've seen the episode, you probably know what I mean. If you haven't, don't. If you haven't, well, if you haven't seen the episode, don't. Just don't. So, with that out of the way, Pet Sitter Pat. Well, apparently it's, well, Grandma SquarePants' birthday, and SpongeBob has to go to it, but then he trips over Gary, and remembers that, well, someone needs to watch him. Which, well, I guess, you know, for something like this, it's a little more acceptable than, you know, SpongeBob being at work worrying about Gary, despite the fact that he's done that millions and billions of times over again. Then again, he has, you know, gone to his grandma's house for this same sort of shit millions and billions of times. So, you know what? I won't let this slide. It's a little more acceptable than in A Pal for Gary, but it's not quite. It's just barely. So, yeah. SpongeBob first asks Squidward, and seems to have forgotten what happened the first time Squidward watched Gary. So then he asks Patrick, who assumes that SpongeBob's going off the grid. I don't know why. And, well, Patrick says that he'll take great care of Gary and drops Gary. And then, well, he gives him instructions, but Patrick reads it upside down and claims that SpongeBob's handwriting is shit, and then goes to look for food for himself. And this is where it all goes downhill. He then he eats so much food that he's in the bathroom all day, although I don't think he was in the bathroom all. He probably was in the bathroom all day, probably for to shit for 5 minutes, and then the rest he was just jacking off to SpongeBob. I don't know. I mean, he's there until nighttime, and then Gary is starving, and Patrick eats more snail food, and tries to give Gary a bath by filling the sink up with snail food and putting water in it. And tells Gary they shouldn't eat the snail food. Ugh, guys. And Gary runs away, And, well, Patrick gets a call from SpongeBob again, and he says he's fine, gets hit by the phone, lands in the bathtub, and, well, breaks the shower head, and water starts coming out. And then he finds Gary in some random room, and, well, tries to, be friendly to Gary, friendly. And also, might I add, when he goes in, there's this cage with a scallop in it. Where'd that come from? And he has a fucking flamethrower. What? Where'd this come from? Just, oh my god, you ass. And he burns SpongeBob's bed. Remember that part. And Gary runs away, and just like the audience would. And then, well, he has a hose and has soap and washes Gary. Gary gets hurt and says that he would dry Gary off, but there's no salt. Again, are the writers from Disney Channel writing this shit or something? I mean, the SpongeBob writing nowadays is awful, but not that awful. Seriously. Maybe Casey Alexander, Zeus Service, and Richard Purcell have gotten much, much worse than they originally were. And then, well, he dries Gary off with a hairdryer, and he's now a statue. But all the water is running, so the house has flooded. And then SpongeBob calls, and, well, Patrick says everything's okay, but then they go under a waterfall. SpongeBob hurriedly finishes his grandma's birthday, runs home, and the house is flooded. And Gary is happy reading Patrick a bedtime story, and Patrick is on SpongeBob's mattress. Okay, SpongeBob's bed got burned. And why is Gary now happy with Patrick now? I mean, Patrick just tried to kill him, so this makes no sense. So yeah, Pet Sitter Pat, it's shit. Just like a pal for Gary, and although unlike this, Gary gets hurt, and it is just awful to see him hurt like that. It's so mean-spirited that it killed the episode. Just like it killed off its audience. In 3rd edition, I mentioned this episode and said I had never seen it, and said that, well, I'd review it if this got enough votes. And, well, what do you know? Although, I honestly didn't expect it to get to the number 2 spot. So, what happens? Well, starts at the Krusty Krab, and SpongeBob is doing hi-ya karate, which he hasn't done in... it's been a while since he's done actually something karate-related. He asks if Squidward would want to join him doing karate, but obviously declines. And then Squidward's walking home with groceries that seem to have popped out of nowhere, and then he just goes into a dark alley for no explained reason. Yeah. Then he sees this big shadowy guy coming towards him, and he's like, "Stay away!" And then he drops his groceries and just runs away and goes to SpongeBob, but not until you see him suffering and you hear, and SpongeBob and Gary are laughing at the TV. Aren't his cries of mercy just funny? No. And, well, SpongeBob opens the door, and Squidward says that he was assaulted. He was attacked. I wrote notes for this because I had never seen it. He was attacked by the guy and wants to know karate, despite the fact that the guy did not even touch Squidward. So, yeah, this is already stupid. He wants revenge on his attacker. Yeah, let's all just run around screaming our heads off because some guy was walking towards us and then want to know karate and beat the shit out of him for no reason. So SpongeBob tries to teach him and fails at it. So then they go to Sandy, and, well, Sandy says that karate is for protection, not vengeance. So yeah. So they teach Squidward the basics. He can't block, he can't slice, he can't even kick a punching bag. So Sandy decides to make karate for him a little more personal. And then, well, they try to, stage a robbery if Squidward got mugged again. Tries to attack, but suddenly his tentacles have become rubber, and they don't reach SpongeBob, but slap back onto him, and then he gets tangled. And he keeps thinking about vengeance. Sandy quits, but then SpongeBob convinces Sandy to keep teaching Squidward. And then, well, they make Squidward clean shit, which is a ripoff of many things. Did Karate Kid do that? I don't know. Believe it or not, I've never seen that movie. What kind of person am I? Although I know American Dragon Jake Long did that, and some other things. So yeah, there's that cliche. And really, they're only having Squidward do that because it's chore day for Sandy. And then Squidward, he's pissed and he tries to walk out of Sandy's tree dome, but trips on a bucket of acorns, and they bounce back at him, and he blocks, and then he does all the things that he failed at. Then Squidward goes back to the alley, he sees the guy, and, well, he beats the shit out of him with, like, garbage cans and a dumpster. And, well, he breaks the guy's glasses and basically is beating the shit out of the guy. He meant to give his groceries back. Lame. And then, SpongeBob and Sandy, run into him. They see that, well, he used it for vengeance, and they're both disgusted. And then Squidward gets arrested for assault. Wow. Well, it takes an unoriginal concept. It has no effort on, flowing things together, because there's just so many plot holes in this. Like he just goes into a dark alley for no reason. The guy didn't even touch him, and he's scared. I mean, it's a big shadowy figure. I mean, at least they didn't go the cliche of big shadowy figure, but it's this tiny little helpless thing. They didn't go that direction, but still, this is a mess. This is a fucking mess. And now, number 1, which is... Oh my god, this is so fucking gross. Oh my god. Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, it is Best Friends Day. And, well, SpongeBob and Patrick have gotten gifts for each other. Patrick gives SpongeBob his prize giant ball of gum named Gummy. Ugh. We'll talk more about Gummy. And SpongeBob got Patrick his own little R2D2 unit. It's R2D2. I'll call him R2D2 because essentially what he is, he's a helper robot. And, well, SpongeBob, it's that cliche, trying to mask up that you're disgusted or disappointed in something with happiness and being happy, and you're like, this is one of the best things I've ever had. Something that needs to die. But, anyway, so, well, the gum is taken into SpongeBob's house, and there's things that are alive on it. It's got garbage, lollipops, underwear that even talks. You're not Patrick. And also the thing has a terrible odor coming off of it. Just... ugh. So, SpongeBob tries to get rid of it, and... well, he first tries to throw it away, but Patrick sees him, and SpongeBob just covers up with some bullshit. Then he tries to bury it, but he's caught by Patrick again, and he said he dug the hole so he can better view Gummy. Fuck that. Really, just... yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, when you've got weed in your hand and a cop catches you, just say you're a cancer patient and it's medical marijuana. Yeah, because they'll believe that. So, well, Patrick says that the best place to put it is right above SpongeBob's front door, and it looks like a zit, quite frankly. And, well, SpongeBob's like, you know what? You know what? I'm gonna get rid of it in the middle of the night, so he puts on a burglar mask, which is stupid. It's like trying to rob yourself, which that in itself is stupid. And he goes in, and, well, there's people in the gum that have been in there for years. What kind of gum is this? What the fuck is this? What? Ugh. Alright, so then SpongeBob tries to get it, but, you know, it becomes a big mess, and, well, he ends up tangled in it. Then Sandy comes over to his house, and, well, he's still stuck in it, like, I guess Big Billy from that one episode of Dexter's Lab. Hell, he was even tangled in gum. Ugh. So yeah, Sandy tries to get him out, but, well, apparently Gummy also has a mind of its own, which... How does that work? I know it's a cartoon, but... What? It's got a mind of its own? It's gum. So yeah, it's aware that Sandy is trying to hurt it. Then, well, Sandy uses her chaos talent and, well, makes a lasso out of part of the gum and then lassos it onto a truck, which in turn would pull it off. But, well, it ends up splitting the truck in half, and, well, the gum goes exploding everywhere. And Squidward is thrusted into it, stuck in the gum, and Sandy's stuck in the gum, and then Patrick sees it and thinks it's a gummy wonderland. And then, well, SpongeBob's trying to tell Patrick the truth, but interruption cliches, yeesh. At least it's not like Shrek the Third, that piece of shit. But it's still stupid, annoying stuff. Would you? No. You were saying, well, get on with it! Stuff like that. And then, well, apparently Patrick is missing Gummy. And, well, SpongeBob says that he can have it back, and then Patrick chews it all up. And then there's like a Pac-Man scene. And he's gotten all the gum, and he's huge. Then he hiccups a giant bubble, which pops, and they're all covered in gum. Ugh. This was just disgusting. The gum. Ew. And just the ending. What? This isn't what I would have chosen for number 1, but, you know, you all voted for it, and, well, Gift of Gum for the fan edition, and the final edition is the number 1 worst SpongeBob episode. Alright, I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all stayed with me as long as you did. Hopefully you're all still sane. And, well, I hope to get more videos out. The best and worst Disney Channel shows is in the works, and same with Toon Disney, so stay tuned for that, as well as, you know, my other typical reviews. So yeah, stay tuned for all of that, and I hope you subscribe, comment, share, and I will see you all later. Bye.